still funny.
She's getting. Are we recording? Oh shit!
Oh.
You didn't tell us to start.
Oh my god.
We yeah. Anyways, her she needs to go get a colonoscopy.
Great. It's open with that.
All right.
You have to wait, our producer's getting socks from what we've been told is a clean laundry basket.
Listen, it is.
It is.
It is.
Mm-hmm. He dug chonies out of it earlier.
We're watching him.
Do those match? All right. Did you sniff them? Yep.
Don't spill the vino.
The labino.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, here we are.
We're back.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I feel like we need like a little theme song.
We do have a theme song.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. It's that,
okay.
You know.
Yeah. Anyways.
90s in the background. And all that stuff.
Oh, how's it been going?
Oh, man. It is like crunch time. I know I'm not anywhere near your level of crunch time, but it's still, it's busy. Crazy busy.
It is.
Yeah. I drove 5 hours today.
With 2 dogs.
With 2 black labs in the back seat, which was fun. So.
Yeah. I think that's the.
And then I left him with my mother and came over here.
So. You pulled the like drop
I
win and go.
Yeah, I win.
Well, one of them is her dog.
One of them was her dog, so that one does need to be dropped there. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey. So today we wanted to talk about. What's the best way to put this? Who we are now, compared to who we thought we would be when we were younger.
Yeah.
So what is our 40s? Like, okay, so you're almost a full year into your 40s. I'm 1 year and a month into my 40s almost. Like what I want to go back in history and talk a little bit about what we thought we were gonna look like.
What life was gonna look like.
I said look like what
decade.
life was gonna look like at this age.
Yeah.
Compared to what the reality is, because I do feel like there are a couple things that are probably still like what we thought was going to happen, and then there's other things that we clearly had no idea.
Well, there's that part of your personality that is your core that I don't think changes.
Yeah.
So like I was thinking back the other day, like I've always kind of been that funny, quirky kid. My mom says that she used to see other people in town and like they'd have normal children, and then she had me, and I was like, hey. And so I tried to think back, like my mom was talking about my humor has always been something that I've been known for. And so I was like trying to think back, where did my humor come from? The first thing that I remember mimicking that was humorous was, do you remember Gallagher, the comedian, like the Smash the Watermelon stuff? I still repeat his jokes to this day. Like
Gallagher's? Where the hell did you even watch it?
My parents taped the HBO specials back in the day and had them on VHS. And I used to watch them all the time when I spring break, whenever I put a movie in. I used to watch Gallagher all the time. So I have like a lot of his jokes memorized.
I knew this about you.
Yeah. So I think that, and I also mimicked, Darlene from Roseanne.
Oh yeah.
Her like dry humor. So like I had Gallagher and Darlene from.
I feel like I know where my humor came from.
Really? I was really thinking about this. I've had 5 hours to drive today and think about it, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know other than life experience.
Yeah. Well, life experience is in there too. Yeah.
Shape me into this person.
Yeah. So as a kid, I feel like I was always kind of this humorous, quirky kid that if I could get a laugh, it was great, So that part of me hasn't changed. But yeah, there's those core things that are part of you.
I think that when I explain you to people, that's always what I say. Like, she's got a sense of humor that you have to understand. Because I think some people, like, and I've watched it because we work together.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched some people think that, like, that you were joking, but you were actually serious.
And vice versa, yeah.
And I'm like, and in my mind, I'm thinking, how do you not know that she isn't joking right now? Because I've known you for so long.
Yeah.
But, and then sometimes when you are joking, people are like,
yeah, that's that dark.
Like they don't know how to take it.
That's more that Darlene dark side of humor kind of a thing.
It's entertaining to watch.
It is, yeah. Like the school I work for, there's some people that I know me now, but when I first started, my mom had to she told me, she's like, I kind of warned them, Julie has kind of a funny sense of humor, so you'll think it's not something that she should be joking about. She is. She has to lighten situations with humor, and that's where she.
I feel like if it's inappropriate, I think this is where me and you are very similar. If it's inappropriate, I'm 100% going to make a joke about it.
Yeah.
Like, we have an ongoing joke at work about the 14-year-old boy that lives in all of us.
I have a 14-year-old boy in me.
Well,
I bathe way more than a 14-year-old boy.
Do you know that sense of humor, though, that, like, 14-year-old boys have?
Oh, yeah.
Like, everybody has that, like, but it depends on how much you can, like, release that sense of humor.
Yeah.
As to how you, I just think that I think it's hilarious to joke about the things that are inappropriate that people shouldn't joke about.
Yeah. And see, and I feel like that was the Gallagher portion of me. Like, I totally liked how he would, like, poke at things that were, like, everyday things that were ridiculous. You know, like the stupidities in English language and things like that. So
yeah. No.
That's where I picked it up.
Yeah. I think you're going to laugh at this because some of the people that before they met you, I was like, listen, Julie has a tendency to, like, when you first meet her, she's not all smiley and cupcakes and rainbows. Like, she's got an RBF. It's going to happen.
I do.
It does not mean, for those of you watching that don't understand the acronym, it's a resting bitch face.
Yeah.
Just put it out there.
I do have one.
But I've told them, like, it's not that she's, like, already made judgment about you. That's just her face.
Yeah.
That's how she.
And I'm also hiding. I want to make a joke so bad. I'm hiding it because I don't think you're going to get it just yet.
Yeah.
So I'm hiding it. Like, you've had some friends that you've introduced me to.
Yeah.
And then, like, you're like, why are you being so quiet? And I'm like, ugh. I'm trying to hold it together and not show. I don't know if I could trust him with my real. Maybe I am autistic.
You are wearing green.
I am wearing green again.
Oh my God. You and this tism.
My husband said something. This is complete sidetrack.
I was going to say, we took a squirrel.
We'll go back. I promise.
We were talking,
we
were supposed to talk about our 40s.
We'll get back to that.
The reality of it.
So my husband puts the bed sheets on our bed. He makes the bed, right?
Well, that's
fresh
nice.
sheets. It's great. It's wonderful.
Bed.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. It's wonderful about that.
Take that
but
as a
he
note,
knows
producer.
There's a tag on the end of the blanket that has to be at the end of the bed.
I can't. No.
He put the tag
on
the blanket that's on my side of the bed. So now I pull the blankets up.
Okay. I will say, though, I cannot make the bed and have the tags. Like, your comforter sometimes has that tag.
That's the comforter. Yep.
It has to be at the end of the bed.
Yes. You hear that?
Do not put it at the beginning.
Hear that, Bobby? She doesn't like it either. And she's not on the tism. Okay. Anyway, that's a little side note.
Well, no, who wants to wake up with a freaking tag in your face and you're like,
he goes, add that to you being on the spectrum. And I'm like,
so now he's using it as like,
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Total squirrel's nest there.
Sorry. Yeah.
But anyways.
So who we were versus who we are now in your 40s.
Go. So, okay. In your 20s and 30s, like a true realistic, what did you think that this time would look like in your life right now? Like when you think about like your 20s, you were still in college.
Yeah.
For a portion of it.
Yeah.
You moved to Oregon. You moved a lot. Then you moved to Oregon at some point in your late 20s. And then you got married in your 30s. So what?
And moved again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't remember like in my 20s really worrying about my 40s because 40 felt really old. And like, oh gosh, I can't imagine.
You remember when my dad turned 40? Were you there for his 40th birthday party? We had the black cake.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because remember we ate a whole bunch of the frosting and turned
our mouth. Yeah.
But I remember thinking like, oh my God, he's so old.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, shit.
I know.
I'm that old.
I know. I remember like my mom, she said something the other day. She was looking at a picture and she goes, I think I was like 38 in that picture. And I was like, what?
Oh, I know.
Do I look that old?
I know.
Like, I feel to this day, I still like, I'm 40. So I'm older than some people that I actually report to at the school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which I didn't think they were younger than me, but they are. And so I feel like I'm still a teenager masquerading in a 40-year-old body.
You're the 14-year-old boy.
Yeah. I still feel like I'm a kid masquerading like as an adult. Like sometimes I like the jokes or whatever. I still don't feel like an adult.
I think it's hard for me. It's hard for me because in my 20s, I got married, bought a house, had my kids. That was my 20s. We moved to Oregon like later in my 20s, but I think for me when I reflect back to my 20s, I was just surviving.
Yeah.
Like I was just surviving. Kids, and marriage
Lots of
and
new
moves.
experiences.
Like there was things that happened in my 20s that it was like a wild time. And so when I think about back then, what I would think where I would be now
Yeah.
is probably not a whole lot off of the scale that I thought it would be, because here's the thing, you're going to laugh at this. I love my daughters. I love my daughters to death. But the minute that I was having them, I was already calculating, like, how old will I be when they turn 18?
Right. Yeah.
Like, how long do I have until they're out of the house and then I get to do the fun stuff? Because all of our friends in their 20s were having fun. Like, they were doing the bar hopping and they were going to Vegas. And me and Dwayne were changing diapers and having kids. And so I have always said, and the people that I've met that had kids in their 20s too, they relate to this, is that I have looked for my 40s to act like my 20s.
Yeah.
Like, I will have a career, I'll have the money,
Yeah.
I'll be stable, and I can go do the shit that I wanted to do in my 20s, but do it responsibly now.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and so when I look at my 40s, I actually am so excited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, if, the medical things could just like even itself out, like not have to take iron every day or some shit like that, that would be better. But I think when I thought about it in my 20s, it was more of how long until I get to do the stuff everyone else is doing. Whereas in my 30s, it was more about like, okay, I'm getting older. Like, it was that reality of like, I'm getting older and I'm not sure what that's going to look like. Like, it got more of like a, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, like the girls mentioned on the episode that we were wearing muumuus, they mentioned that, Aunt Julie was single for a long time and stuff. So like I was single through most of my 20s, but I've never been a wild person. Like I wasn't a partier.
I think that's me and you both. Like, we've only been to bars like a handful, like couple handfuls of time. Like, we're not like bar people.
And I'm a lightweight, so it's not like
we end up crying about fertility issues
stuff.
Yeah, I know. And then it's like 2:00 on a Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I was in my 20s, I was single and I was really focused on getting my education and stuff like that. And so I was really thinking that by this time I would be married. I was probably thinking that I would be married. I'd have children. I'd have, the American dream, that little box.
Yeah.
And while there is a little piece, like we discussed, there's children missing from that box. I still feel like if I knew in my 20s, hey, this is what 40 is going to look like, I still think that I would be really satisfied with it, because I thought I was just going to be single for the rest of my life. When I met my husband, I was at that point where I was like, there's probably nobody for me.
This is okay. At like 30 something when you were like, yep, I'm good. You were like cool being the single aunt.
It was so God works in really funny ways. Like my brother died in April of 2015 at 26 from cancer. And that really changed my perspective on stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm sitting around not living because I'm single. Oh, I can't do that because I don't have a man.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a man. Yeah. I can't do that. You guys never made me feel that way. I was almost, you were hanging out with your husband more than you.
I was just going to say you were the third
and not wheel. In a weird way, but like we would always do things as the three of us, and it never felt like a third wheel. Like,
no.
Oh, I'm,
Yeah.
So so that changed my perspective, and it really and I think I was 31 when he died, and that just snapped me into this, like, I'm going to start living.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it was God or what, but that happened in April. In June is when I met my husband.
Oh, that's right.
And so I lived for 2 months, and I was like, I even told my roommate at the time, I was like, Danny was taken so quickly at 26. Yeah. What if I die tomorrow and I've been all this time not living because I'm waiting for a man or a relationship or whatever?
Yeah. Like in order to feel complete. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what, it sounds weird coming from me because I've been with my husband since I was 15, but
right.
But I think that's the one thing that we've been trying to instill in our daughters is that you got to love yourself.
Absolutely.
You have got to find who you are. And I think for me, I found myself in my late 30s.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't actually find out who I was because, and I know me and you have different paths, but like my 20s, I was mom.
Yep.
Right? Like, I was mom in my 20s. My early 30s, I was graduating college and I was getting a career. And I was still mom, but I was wife and I was trying to be career woman. By the time I was in my late 30s, I had kind of outgrown all of the things that like I thought I had to do in order to be successful.
Yeah.
So
I think that this picture right here, you were in school getting your degree,
yes,
weren't you?
yes, because I have my
Yeah.
cat eye glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember, I feel like
My glasses were part of
this
my
was somebody's
decor.
birthday or something at your house.
They're probably Katie's.
Oh, maybe, yeah, because I'm wearing a dress.
Yeah,
So it's got to be summer around here in Oregon to wear a
yeah,
dress. So yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, if you could go back and tell that girl right there where you're at right now, yeah. Do you think she'd be like, okay, you've got it together. I
I
can
mean,
relax a little?
you hear this from me on probably a weekly basis of like, I ain't got my shit figured out.
Yeah.
My life is crazy. Like
Yeah.
I'm at God's will and he's just taking me on the road.
Right.
What's the song?
Right.
Like Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I feel like life is anymore.
Yeah.
However, I feel like I'm in more control of my destiny than I was in my 20s and my 30s.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
I think because I stopped caring what people thought.
That's so hard.
During COVID,
So hard.
I learned quickly that I probably have always had that in me. Like when I was my brother will correct me on this or my mom will. I was like 12 or 13 and I went to the mall in riding pants. They were like bright yellow. I think they were
Yeah.
my brothers.
Mhm.
They were like bright yellow motorcycle pants.
Oh.
And I thought I was killing it, right? I had my Doc
Yeah.
Martens on. I was killing that
Marks.
shit.
My mom let
And
me have those.
my family made so much fun of me, but
Yeah.
I did not care what. And so I think I've always had that in me. But at some point, like when I became a mom and a wife, all of a sudden I thought I had to care.
Yeah.
And so then when COVID hit and we were in our like later 30s,
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. Like
Yeah.
the world is insane.
Yeah.
Why do I care?
Yeah.
And so now
Yeah.
I'm respectful, but I don't care.
It's really, yeah, I'm respectful as well. I don't do things and I'm like,
I'm not going to walk around with my tits hanging out.
well, thank goodness, because I wasn't gonna do that either. But yeah, yeah, I feel like I think I've told your daughters this, both of them, that your 20s are so important to like.
Oh, they like establish, like you grow so
Yeah,
much.
you do. There's so many experiences you have, good and bad, that you need to have so that you go into your 30s, like you said, I don't care. This is what
Yeah.
it is. Because yeah, something happens at 30. And like it's weird when my husband came into my life, I was at that.
I think you're like
baby
you're like
stages of
maturing,
that.
right? Like
Yeah.
because if you think about it, like I've been telling Abby this, you are a baby adult. Like you're
Yeah,
0 years of adulthood, right? Like now you're a couple months, but when you think about it in that way, then your 20s are like you still got those what are those things at the bowling alley, like the bumpers?
Oh,
You still kind of got like
your training
bumpers
wheels on.
around you.
Yeah.
And then by your 30s, you're like, okay, I got me like a little bit of a speed bike. I'm going.
Yeah.
And the way I'm looking at my 40s is like, fuck that. I'm getting a motorcycle. We're
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. 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 It's so important to have that. So like you've said, in my 20s, I was mom, I had this, da, 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 da. So like you didn't feel like you got to experience that. And so you're like, oh, I'm going to have that in my 40s. Even though I wasn't a mom, I kind of felt like I was so driven. I've always been someone that's like really goal driven. And so I was really driven to get my degrees and like, be somebody and do something, do the right thing. I said I wasn't a partier. So that I feel like I'm kind of looking forward to us in our 40s as well, because you don't have babies to take care of,
Like we get to do the fun stuff.
Yeah. And so, yeah, 40 should be that fun time that like
But I think that like when we were
try new
kids,
things, oddly enough.
funny enough, when we were kids, I feel like I looked at people in their 40s and they were just so different than we are now.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like, oh, you're over the hill. Like,
oh yeah,
40.
I think that was my mom's 40th birthday. Was that over the hill stuff?
But I just feel like they were just very different than we are now. Because like I watched like my mother-in-laws and my mom, 60s and on, and I feel like they're more active than I remember. My grandma was a rare condition though. My grandma was out there like with a jigsaw cutting things and like anyway. So
that's like my mom. She's in denial that she's older, and so she'll say something and I'm like, well, that you're older, you're gonna be slower at this, or you're gonna have she doesn't like it's not in her vocabulary.
A question.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked in the mirror? You're gonna laugh at this. Have you ever looked at the mirror and thought, this is or is not the woman that I thought I'd be at this point.
I'm going to be honest, and this is going to sound. I'm so
A little
amusing.
like,
I'm actually really surprised and happy. I feel like I've turned out better than like. If I wouldn't have had all these challenges that we discussed, the infertility, the being single for so long, the weird humor,
yeah,
I don't feel like if those experiences, like you wonder why God has you go through these trials and like you ups and downs. It's building who you are. It's these little blocks. And so I feel like I came out better for it.
yeah.
With more, like I came into my 40s with a lot more grace and a lot more gratitude.
Well, and I think
You
that's
know?
what I think that's the thing I was thinking about because me and Dwayne were laughing the other day. So we have a family member who is his same age that just had a baby, and we were at dinner. I told you we went to dinner, and we had seen a picture, and Dwayne was like, out of the blue, he was like, I don't I don't want to be there. Like, kudos to him, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that's
Yeah.
to start all over again. Like, that's a lot. And so I think when you think about like the things that have grown you into who you are
Mm.
and caused you to become patient and humble and graceful with people, I think it's those things that, we felt like we got beat up in our 20s with our kids and people saying that we were having like we got married and a year later we had a kid. Like,
You're moving too fast.
yeah, that we were moving too fast and things like that. And I think that the same thing for you, right? You probably
I was
have
moving
some
fast
things.
enough in some areas.
Well, and you probably have some things that people like criticized about, but I think that's where going into my 40s, you're right. That was something that I wanted to make sure that I extended more grace to people that are younger than were extended to me.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because if there's one thing I've learned, it is that the people that are older than me, if you just shut up sometimes and listen to them, they freaking know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, not always.
Not
So
always.
some of them don't always.
Sometimes you just need to Google something, older people. Just Google it.
Or chat GPT it. Have a whole conversation.
Yeah, like,
If you don't know about that, contact Dwayne.
I love when the older generation thinks I'm a genius.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just Googled something. I'm like, yeah, I'm a genius.
I the other day at work, I taught somebody, we have at the company, we have our own like AI GPT thing.
Oh, uh-huh.
And I said something just out of the blue, like within conversation, thinking it was like normal. And he was like, wait, hold on. So you had that whole system write something for you? And I was like, well, yeah, you just prompt it, do this.
Give it a prompt. Mm-hmm.
And it was like, they were like, oh my God, I think you just saved me half of my job.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not the genius. Let me tell I'm probably at like the beginner stage of using AI compared to other people. But that person made me like, I walked away feeling like I was the smartest person in the room.
Yeah. 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 I can't remember what it was. I reversed Google image search something.
Yeah.
And my boss was like, how did you know that? And I was like, I took that picture you sent.
Okay, but here's a scary thing. This is a scary thing. Like I think about, because we're talking about our 40s and our adventure into our 40s. Sometimes I think about what it's going to be like for my kids.
Yeah.
Like, what is the world going to be like for them? Because they're already so much smarter than us.
In some ways. In some ways, for sure. Yeah.
Like, they don't know who Blind Melon and what was the song? No Rain?
Yeah, No Rain.
Yeah. Yeah. We were, but yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
So I just think about that, like what that's going to look like for them. But I don't know. I think that's the one thing I'm going into my 40s with is I need to be more gracious with others.
Yeah. And that goes into, I think, in our late 30s and currently now, I think both of us are more spiritual.
Oh, yeah.
Religious than we were.
Oh, yeah.
Like I did not attend a regular church through my 20s because I moved a lot. It was really difficult.
Yeah.
I worked for I was a teacher at a private school for a little while in California, and I would attend that church sometimes. But like, no, I feel like I don't want to say it's hard when you leave your family. Like if you have a family church and you go all the time, and then you go out on your own, that connection is hard to keep up. So I think that's something definitely in your 40s you come back to. You're like, oh God, hey,
yeah. Well,
you're still there.
It's true. And I think that I always use the excuse of like the kids or the busyness or things like that.
Yep.
And now I don't really have that excuse. But I've
And
always
God knows he's watching.
He does.
He's everywhere.
You should one of these days I should like record myself praying because it's just a full-on conversation.
Oh, me too.
Sounds sometimes I'm like, thank God you are who you are.
Right.
Because
oh yeah. They had me pray. Like I don't really like doing the whole prayer in front of
I can't
the whole Bible study
because
group.
it's not
It's hard.
You know how like you listen anyways, we're going on.
I call God dude sometimes.
Yes.
Dude. And I'm like, I can't say this in front of all those old ladies. Are they gonna understand this? Like I want to be like, heavenly dude. and they're just like, she called God dude? She called him dude? Yeah.
No,
they said to talk to him like he's your friend. I would talk to him like
it's like I talk to him just like we talk.
Yeah.
And I do use cuss words too.
Yeah, or I get off on tangents.
Because I have to
wait, I was praying.
Because I have to be authentic. Right? Like but I'm not I'm not good. Like there are people that you listen to pray and I think they're so
good at it.
How did you get to be so good? Like you got the right words and everything.
Yep.
Like they'll be like, Heavenly Father, please lift up Sarah. And I'm like over here because I'm this thing.
Sarah's got some problems right now.
I don't know what they are, but hey, if you feel like I need to know, you can give me some of that info.
Yeah.
But So anyways, I feel like that.
So we're more spiritual in our 40s. There we go. Round that back.
We're more spiritual. We're gonna have more fun.
Yep. Definitely.
I think, the biggest thing is I started this in my 30s and I really, really want to be good at it in my 40s is living in the moment. I have a really hard time of not being like right now. I can tell you this week, I have been more stressed about the next 2 to 3 months.
Sure.
Than living in the moments.
Yeah.
Now, part of that moment was watching my husband get chased by a bull, so that was stressful. But I couldn't really live in that moment. I was like, I gotta get it, and mentally, I gotta get out of this spot.
Yeah.
But I think that's the what. Looking forward, and this will be a good one because this will be recorded, so we can go back to it.
Yeah.
What do you think our 50s are going to look like?
I don't know. After our 40th birthday party was really hard. We did camping for our 40th birthday party. Don't camp for your 40th birthday party.
I don't know. You came up with that idea and I was like, I'm going to wing it.
I was
like,
just thinking it would be a good way to get everyone because we're all from different areas, all to one spot. We could have a dance party.
But let's
great.
privy all of this with the fact that me and you are not outdoor people.
No, I'm outdoor-ish.
Yeah, we're like glampers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
And I didn't know.
I just need to know where I'm going to poop. And it's not going to be on a walk.
I didn't
after
know
sugar-free candy.
I didn't know that you were going to lose part of your finger. And that you were going to eat a hot dog off the ground. And that
oh my God.
And the boat was going to leave us stranded and we were in the lake for 8.5 hours.
Poisoning our first day.
Yeah, and then we got sunburned the first day. But I also got really good at not really good.
Which we will throw
really into kayaking.
We'll throw a photo.
Yeah, we'll put a photo. I have a photo of us.
Of our burnt. I think it's that one of me and you sitting and I have the hat on and I just look miserable.
Yeah, your finger's dying, your finger's bleeding. Yeah. So like we camped for our 40th and at the very end of it, I was leaving with my husband and my dog to go back to Hermiston. And you were leaving as well. And so I
took up like 10 miles down the road.
And I gave you a hug and I said, let's make 50 better. Because Catrina, at the end of it, Catrina was like,
I had almost degloved 2 of my fingers.
Yeah.
I was sunburnt to a crisp to the point where I contemplated just walking around.
We used the same sunscreen. I don't understand how that happened.
And then I maybe indulged a little too much, and so did some others. And I ate a hot dog that I didn't know had been on the ground. My husband fed it to me. He told me I knew, but I don't think I did. Anyway, it was a
good hot dog.
I will say this little secret. It was actually a really good hot dog.
Was it Costco dogs?
But the problem was it was a little crunchy. Remember the like things that were falling off of the tree?
Oh.
And then they were all those like squirrels. Anyways,
you have rabies now.
I probably do. Okay. I probably should get tested. And then we had teenagers. That was actually, here's the thing.
We should have had no kids.
Here's the thing about parenting teenagers.
Yeah.
And Julie's gotten to kind of see this.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you want to rip your hair out with them because they drive you nuts. Other times they like breathe life into you.
They're super helpful. Yeah.
And I will say that camping trip, I do think that they were part of my entertainment. Yeah. Because I got to sit in a tent and listen to my daughters, their friends, the boyfriends, all play games until like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
Like, but it was like a wholesome fun.
Yeah.
And I remember laying there in the tent at one point thinking, if this is me going into my 40s, even though I look like
Your
Mr.
fingers throbbing.
even though Mr. Krabs, I look like Mr. Krabs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's where it's going.
And my finger is throbbing. I probably ate a hot dog off the floor.
Yeah.
I was like, this is good. This is life. Like
Yeah.
listening to the sounds of the campground with the people that I love and like hearing them interact and
Yeah.
the fires crackling. And that was actually, and that's why, yes, the camping trip didn't exactly go the way we wanted to. And it wasn't, would Cabo have been funner? Probably.
I say 50s, we need to go on a destination with just our husbands and us.
At that point, it's whoever can afford a trip, you get to come with us.
Yeah.
Including my kids. Like if you can afford to come, see you there.
But we're going mostly tropical.
Yes. It's got to be somewhere warm and sunny.
Definitely.
But
yeah. So 50, I feel like 40 is better than 30, to be honest with you.
That's what
40 was a rough year.
I do
stuff, but
crazy enough. I do feel like when I look back at my 20s, like it was good, but I feel like my 30s
30
were
was
better
than 20. Yeah.
And then I feel like my 40s so far, I'm only a year and almost a month into it.
Yeah.
Have been even better.
Yeah. So I'm thinking 50 will be, you keep settling in and you keep settling into who you are, I think. So like 50 should be even better.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
And I think, well, and I think that's what it is I think that at some point, and maybe this is more of a question for you, at some point, do you feel like you knew that you were changing and it was more of a crisis or an evolution?
Oh, that's tough. I would say that looking back on it now, it was clearly an evolution. There were moments of crisis in there that I doubted what I was doing or the direction I was headed.
Yeah.
Even like when I was single, I was in that crisis mode. But even when I met my husband, this type of relationship and I'm going to get married. Oh my, I'm getting, all these things felt like a crisis. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this. How do you do this? And learning how to be in a marriage and like all this stuff. So at times when you're in that moment, it feels like a crisis. But when you look back, I feel like it's a full evolution.
I think one of the things that has gotten me to where I've got, and you kind of just said this, and it's probably something for those of you that are listening that have not yet gotten to your 40s, or maybe you're in your 40s and you feel stuck.
You're way past us.
Or unsure. Yeah. I mean, maybe it is. I have always trusted my gut. I have always.
Sorry, I forgot to silence my phone. That's my husband. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
I have always trusted my gut in guiding me to where I'm going to go, because you said it, like sometimes I get in these moments, and I've been doing this for the last year or two, of like, I don't know the answer, and I don't know where to go, and I don't know what book to read. Like there's no instruction manual on certain things. And so, but I have to follow my gut, and I have to find people that, like trusted professionals or people that I trust a lot, and talk it out. Yeah. Right. When you feel like you're a little unstuck, or you're unsure what to do on your next step or where you're going.
Yeah.
And so I would say that between trusting your gut and this too shall pass. Yeah. Those are my two top favorite like mantras or sayings.
Mine would be that that our life is just defined by the choices that we make.
Yep.
So sometimes you look at people and you're like, man, they have a really rough life. Well, they be making really bad decisions and really bad choices.
Yeah.
So I feel like own your choices and make a choice. Some people just can't, crap or get off the pot kind of situation. But like, I feel like you got to own those choices. Okay. So I chose to move to Oregon.
Yeah.
It was terrifying. I left, Fresno, California, and I left a lot of family back there. I moved up here knowing my mom, and then realizing you live 8 miles down the road or whatever.
Yeah.
So the choices can be scary, and you may not know if it's the right one till way later. But don't be afraid to like own it. This is a choice I'm making. This is what I'm going to do to make sure that going forward, I continue making the best choice possible for the options I have available.
Yeah. No, I would agree, and I think that's the. We often talk about, maybe not on this podcast so far, well, maybe we have, is like God has a plan.
Yeah.
And God has a purpose.
Yeah.
That we don't know about.
Mm-mm.
But if you stop, like sometimes I stop and I look back and it is blatantly obvious to me that I just had to follow what I believed he was trying to push me towards.
Yeah.
Like you moving up. So we hadn't talked. God, it would have been a while.
Yeah. 5, 10.
Yeah. And you moved up. And I would say that since I've lived here and you've lived here, there are things that I have gone through personally that I don't know that I would have made it through sanely had I not had you.
Oh, trying to make me cry again? No, yeah,
If
no,
you know what I mean? Like
I agree.
I feel
I
like
agree.
there are some things, and there's probably some things that you don't even know about that I still made it through.
Yeah.
Because I knew that you would be in my corner no matter what, and you were
Right.
here and close to me.
Right.
Had we stayed in California, not come up, I don't know that that would have happened.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that we would have reconnected the way that we did.
No, and so to me, just like I feel like he put my husband in my path, I think he put us back in each other's paths.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is probably a topic for another episode, but and I think we should cover it is making friends at 40 and making, friendships after 40.
There's not many Julies out there.
There's not Catrinas out there at all. I not that
It's
I'm constantly looking to replace her. I just, I want to add to the team, But yeah, so yeah, I feel like that's very true because I have my core 3 people that I keep in my corner all the time, and I know if I have a problem, depending on what that problem is, you reach out to one of those people. So there's certain things I know if I reach out to my mom, she's in my corner, she's gonna mama bear it, she's gonna attack them, get it. Certain things for you, like when I had my miscarriage, I came clean and told you I had my miscarriage, and you said, when you come down, I know you don't have time to spend the night, but can you come over and let's have dinner or something? We need to be together.
Well, and I know you well enough to know that you don't want to.
Don't coddle me.
No, she doesn't want to be coddled.
Yeah.
And you also I knew at the point that you were telling me this, that you were, I said this earlier, you were packing it in the box.
Yeah. I was
like you were, that was one of your
anymore.
check marks on the worksheet that you needed to get through to put it in the box and put the lid on it. And I think that's how our friendship has always been. Cause there's some things that I've gone through that I don't need to talk it out.
Yeah.
I don't need to sit and have a whole, I don't need to go to the bar and drink for a night to talk about it.
Yeah.
I just need to tell you.
Yep.
So that you're aware.
Yep.
And at some point down the road, maybe it'll come back up, but maybe it won't. I just need you to be aware.
Yeah.
But I think that's our friendship. And that's where I think, again, this is a topic for another podcast, but I think that's where it's hard to find friends because of that, because not a lot of people understand that.
Yeah. There's vulnerability in opening up to new people.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what advice do you have people that are coming into their 40s or in their 40s and they just are looking for advice? Not that we're the best advice givers.
No, that's why I'm looking at you like, me give advice? I thought we were just doing a fun little podcast. That are coming into their 40s. Is that, like you just said, like the less you can start not caring so much about what every little person thinks about you.
Yeah.
There are some people that, oh gosh, I don't want to disappoint them. It would be so hard to find out I disappointed certain people in my life. Right.
Yeah.
But then there's some times where you have to build boundaries. You have to shut some people out, or you also that's
a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic. But sometimes just because they're family doesn't mean you got to keep them around.
Oh,
I'm a big one.
Preach it.
Yeah.
Amen.
So
hallelujah.
Yeah. So there's some things in your 40s that by the time you get there, you need to have in place. And that's one of them that I know how to make boundaries and keep them. I know how to kind of read people and know when okay, time to write up and get out of here. Or there's, there's,
you understand I always use these terms and sometimes I think people get annoyed by it, but you understand what a green flag is, beige flag and a red flag.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes there's a yellow one that you got to get
it's giving you a warning that red one's coming. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think it's, oh God, that's a whole,
and then sometimes
podcast right there.
Catrina just likes to Irish goodbye it.
Oh,
and just, when that's not for her, she's just gone. She didn't announce it. She's done. Moving on. Book closed.
If you listen to this and you know me, or if you know, you've known me in the past, and I got quiet, it's 2 reasons. It's either I got a lot going on, or it's I'm backing out and you ain't gonna see me.
Yeah. Well, and that's something too. Like you've been
I
really quiet.
peacefully go back.
You've been really quiet in our text exchange. Just me and you. The podcast one, Dwayne's usually in there too, but
Yeah.
just me and you. You've been really quiet, and I'm over here knowing that she's really busy. I'm not over here like, oh, I hope they're still friends. She's not talking.
No, instead I text you randomly on like a I can't remember what it was. I did this was it a couple weeks ago or a week ago?
Mhm.
I randomly text you and was like, I was in the grocery store, the power went out.
Yeah.
And now what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah. Or then
like she hadn't heard from me.
Yeah, it was a long time. And she was just like, please write this down for the podcast. I can't stand it when guys have things on their hats. Like, why do you need a fishing lure up there? And I hadn't talked to her in like, I don't know, 6 days.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'll write it down.
Now that we have this like podcast group chat though, Dwayne keeps it pretty active.
Yeah.
I will say.
It does, yeah.
I will say that we keep trying to get him to come on here. Hun, you got to come on.
He says that he doesn't want to be in front of the camera.
He doesn't want to be in front of the camera. But I will tell you that sometimes the shenanigans we get up to include Dwayne.
Yeah.
Like last night's text messages back and forth about the guy in the yoga pants that was in front of me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What were you doing at Safeway after like 8 p.m.? 8 p.m. is bedtime.
Listen.
That's another topic.
It was at the point that we had a surprise calf born, that like we felt settled that I could actually get to the store to get food to feed the family.
Yeah.
Like forage.
You're like, we're going to need things for this weekend.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. It's kind of one of those, but I don't know. I think honestly, you're going to laugh at this probably. I was so scared at about 38 to hit 40.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why? Because I just thought I would hit 40 and immediately I'd hit menopause.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, I don't know why in my mind I thought it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's this thing called perimenopause.
Yeah.
And like,
I'm autistic and in perimenopause, apparently, according to TikTok. Yeah. And I might have colon cancer. I don't know.
She's got all the symptoms.
It's like, are you hot at nighttime? I'm like, yeah, I am hot at night. They're like, you're perimenopause.
How many blankets do you have?
I have a 93-pound black lab laying next to me. That's probably where the hotness
But yeah, so I just like, I don't know what it was. And so I actually had scheduled an appointment with my doctor to do like it was actually to like set up my PCP.
Mm-hmm. This is when you were 30.
Sorry. When I was right before I turned 40, like at 39. Whenever I say PCP, I think of the drug, not the doctor.
It's like,
I think that's a 90s. I think that's a 90s baby thing.
Maybe.
But I set up an appointment with her, and it was really, this is what I hate about the healthcare system though. I absolutely love Dr. I think her name was Menendez.
Okay.
Mendoza. I really loved her.
Oh.
But I had her appointment, and then by the time I went to go to her again, she was gone. And I'm like,
oh yeah, they changed so fast.
Okay, well, I guess I'll get a different one. Mm-hmm. So, but I loved her, but I asked her, she was like, okay, what are you? And I was like, listen, I'm going to hit 40 soon. Like I've already started having mammograms early because my OB was like, go do it. Yeah. I don't care. Like, just do it. Yeah. We have a history in our family. And so, got the boobies checked. I'm good.
Good.
But she was like, honey, we're going to draw the labs and do all the things. But she's like, when did your mom go into it? And I was like, I don't know.
That's a weird question, but
okay. I didn't ask her that, but I guess I can. Yeah. But she was like,
when did you go? When did your last period happen?
But I told her, I was like, I'm just worried. She was like, you don't, she said, most things in menopause are all mental. Like if you mentally are strong, you can, she was like, start doing meditation and start like building that mental strength that you'll get through it. And she was like, oh, and by the way, take this drug. She didn't give me a drug, but it was over the counter.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Yeah. So I'm not as worried anymore, but you're going to laugh every time a new something happens to me. I'm like,
yeah,
maybe this is it.
I think medical stuff needs to be another episode.
So anyways, so just so you know, if you're going into your 40s, don't stress out about that, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm going to,
especially if you're a dude, you're not going through perimenopause, no matter what TikTok tells you.
Does it claim that men have perimenopause?
No, I don't know. If you're just a dude watching TikToks, like you have perimenopause, you're like, I am hot at night.
I remember when we found out that men could get breast cancer when we were kids, and we thought that was the weirdest thing ever. So
men don't have boobies.
No. So yeah, I guess one of my questions to the audience would be,
we have an audience,
I think.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like we're really big in Croatia.
Yeah, Dwayne likes to look at the stats on everything, and he's like, "Wow, this one TikTok is just overperforming in Croatia." So if you're in Croatia,
thank you.
yeah,
Welcome.
cool.
Here we are.
If you know the Turkish campers, let us. I don't know if that's close.
I'd love to come and see your country.
Yeah.
Wait, they're not at war, right?
Croatia?
Yeah. No. Okay.
I don't know. I'll ask JD.
Okay.
I have to mention him every episode.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Anyways,
Question for the audience.
Question for the audience. Tell us where you thought you'd be at 40 and where you're at now. If you are in your 40s. If you're not in your 40s, maybe just tell us what you think your 40s will look like.
Yeah.
Because I'd be interested in knowing. Like, yeah, I come from the thought process of like, I think me and you are kind of along this way because you have many degrees and I have one. Like I always want to be a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
I can see me getting another degree at some point. It'll probably be for something fun, not work wise, but I could see it happening. Yeah. But yeah, I think we'd love to hear what other people think.
Yeah.
Or if you are in your 40s or past your 40s, throw us some advice. Yeah. Like what you got for us?
Yeah, if you're in your 50s, tell us if we were right when we're thinking that it's just going to keep getting better from here.
Yeah.
If it's downhill,
don't tell us.
I want to prep. I want to like doomsday prep. Like how many, Cottonelle moist towelettes do I need going ahead? Like, do I need Prilosec? Like, what do I need?
Hey,
Get me the drug list because I need it. Tums, I already got. Don't let me know that. But
the medical episode needs to come at some point.
It does. Like, what's a good tea?
Yeah.
To have.
Yeah.
Let me know how 50 is going, So
we would love to hear.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, even I'm thinking through like, even like sexual health, like in your 40s.
I was like, if you're after 50, I don't know if you want to tell me. You can.
I don't know. I hear that women get more spicy when they get to 50.
Okay, let us know that.
So I'd love to know how much energy I need to save.
Maybe it's just a Croatian thing.
I don't know. Maybe we need to go visit.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I think our 40s have been interesting. So
yeah.
So far, we're
little baby 40-year-olds. Yeah.
Little baby ones. Yeah. So yeah, but cool. Yeah. Well, if you guys think of anything, let us know. Thanks for listening to us rant and rave about our 40s.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks, guys. Out, bitches.